Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about whether or not you can cure your internet marketing perfectionism. And perfectionism is something that's almost certainly holding you back. There's a quote in the Bible, Ecclesiastes 11:4, if you'd like to check, that says, "If you wait for the perfect conditions, you'll never get anything done." And that's still true over 2,000 years later. Things are never perfect. In my view, that's one of the plus points of today's throwaway society. Sure, there are negatives as well, but that doesn't really matter. If someone's only ever going to watch your latest video once, then even if there are lots of people watching it once each, the occasional glitch really doesn't matter. As long as the sound quality is acceptable and you're not slurring your words or speaking in an accent that few people understand, that's okay. And here in the UK, some regional dialects fall into that category. I remember visiting Lincolnshire when I was young and having to ask my mother to translate some of the words being used, and when a coach we were using with the Scouts stopped in Staffordshire, it was as though the locals were from a different planet. So it happens even in the same country. But all the locals would have been able to understand the people perfectly, and my guess is that YouTube's automatic captioning would probably cope with them reasonably well. It seems to do a much better job than I can do, and a lot quicker. And that means there's no need for perfectionism with regard to your accent. Editing software can get rid of really bad problems, but if you're recording fairly short videos like this one, you should be able to do them in one take. Maybe like me with liberal use of the pause button. I tend to press it quite regularly for various reasons. Just need to do anything, even just change slides sometimes, but normally you just click. Same goes for written work. You obviously don't press the pause button, but the slides on this video certainly wouldn't pass a grammar checker. It uses too many hyphens, too many brackets, and I've been doing that since my age was in single digits, so pretty unlikely to change now. I'm a half a century older. Paragraph lengths are short, topics are spread out between paragraphs. I use abbreviations and slang, so this by no means qualifies as being perfect in that sense. But that's my style, and that's another grammar faux pas there, as I shouldn't start sentences with words such as but or and. If people don't get on with my style, they'll go elsewhere. The same applies to published authors, even if they're responsible for bestsellers. Not everyone will get on with their style. I'm a lot happier reading Bret Easton Ellis than I am reading Charles Dickens. And whilst I read Catch-22 when I was at school, I know I wouldn't have the patience to reread it, even though it's a fantastic book and close to perfect. I think Joseph Heller said it was the best book he wrote. Even he was happiest with that versus his later books, from memory anyway. I'd argue that developing your own style and dividing people with a polarity response is better than being a perfectionist. For a start, the output of perfectionists is low. Douglas Adams wrote a lot less books than some of his competitors, and there are even some highly successful authors who outsource the main writing part of their books. Weird as that may sound. They devise the plot and the writing style, then several writers write the various sections, and the named author compiles and edits it. Definitely not perfectionism happening there, but their bank account really wouldn't care. I remember a quote from Dan Kennedy that said your bank won't give you a bonus on the money you place in the account just because you've worked hard to earn it, and likewise they won't make a deduction if you earned it easily. They just count the cash, or nowadays just count the electrons. And that comes back to the initial question: can you cure your perfectionism? And slurred that one, perfectionism. And the answer is really up to you. Often with this kind of problem, the solution is chip away at the edges. Pick something that you don't care if it's not perfect. An email reply, a Facebook post maybe, especially as those allow you to edit. Then move, well, Facebook does, email doesn't. You press send and that's gone. Then move up to a bigger stumbling block, because perfectionism is a stumbling block. And whichever way you look at it, it's holding you back from your potential. Next to nothing in life has to be absolutely perfect. Diamonds certainly aren't perfect. There's even a grading system that takes account of their imperfections. Some works of art are highly prized for their imperfections. The Baroque style is often based on being imperfect. Trendy shops and cafes are often in converted buildings where the brickwork's left exposed, so if you were a purist, you'd say, no, that's got to be faced off and painted and whatever else. So lots of ways you can actually do imperfectionism, however that's pronounced, or even if it's a word. So embrace your imperfections and enjoy the feeling of being creative, the liberation that often comes alongside that. And whilst there may be no specific cure for perfectionism, you can certainly work on turning down your own dial for it and watching your productivity soar. And if you'd like more help with that, click the link below this video, because as you can tell from this video, my style is definitely not perfect. It's good enough and it gets the information across, and that's what you should be doing so that you can reach more people, help more people. Okay, so click the link below this video and join me on lots more help. Thanks very much for watching.